go ahead and continue on with the presentation here. We are going to take a look back. Let me make sure I was... All right, we're live on Twitch and YouTube right now, so know anybody out there in the future, make sure you follow us and get the word out that we're out here. All right, what actually happened last week? Severe weather-wise, there were quite a few reports of tornadoes in North Dakota on Saturday, June 21st, 2025. The tornadoes were mainly embedded in a line of severe thunderstorms. One of the largest tornadoes started about 4 miles northeast of Crystal Springs, North Dakota, and ended 4 miles northwest of Medina, North Dakota. The total path length of this tornado was 4.05 miles long. Damage from this tornado included trees snapped down to the trunk with leaves and branches blown off. Electric line poles were bent and twisted. There was roof damage to farm buildings and with another building completely destroyed. Also, shingle, roof, and siding damage to homes with debris scattered up to about a half a mile away, per the official National Weather Service damage survey. This tornado was given a preliminary rating of an EF1 with winds up to 108 miles per hour. All right. There were also straight line winds in the Wichita, Kansas area with at least 3.85 inch hail reported near Arkansas City, Kansas on Tuesday evening, June 17th. Large hail was also reported in Oklahoma, Nebraska, South Dakota throughout last week. St. Francis, Kansas had the nation's high temperature at about 107 degrees on Saturday and 104 on Sunday. It was very warm in the rest of the Central Plains from the north to the south. We're now going to look ahead at the next 7 days from June 23rd through June 29th. And here's what our reconnaissance actually suggests. We're going to start out with the U.S. Hazards Outlook. This is from today, Monday, through this coming Friday. Northern Plains are expecting some heavy rain from today through Wednesday here in the green boxed or circled area, and very northeastern part of Kansas expecting some hazardous heat from today through about tomorrow or Wednesday. Sorry about that. But the heat is pretty stifling today. I believe our high today here in southeast Kansas was right around 95 degrees, 94, 95 degrees. If I remember seeing my display earlier. The surface analysis for 7 p.m. this evening shows that there is a chance of severe weather from southeastern Nebraska all the way down into north central Kansas. The culprit is the surface front, a stationary front between north central Kansas. It bisects the southeastern corner of Nebraska up into Iowa and Wisconsin and Michigan areas. Severe weather threat. We'll take a look at the convective outlook for today. There is a slight risk of severe thunderstorms for southeastern Nebraska and north central Kansas for today. That goes from this evening all the way till tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. This particular outlook does. And I just got through, wasn't able to put a graphic in, but looks like that they issued a severe thunderstorm watch for extreme northeastern Kansas, north central Kansas, until 10 p.m. tonight, Central Daylight Time. They're expecting scattered damaging wind gusts to 70 miles per hour and isolated large hail events to about an inch in diameter possible. So just a heads up, and I believe they've also got a watch that expires a little bit sooner than the one that I just described to you here in southeastern Nebraska. So the plains area, north central plains area, just a heads up, possibility of some hail and strong winds here through about 10 p.m. tonight at least. We are going to take a look at the surface analysis for tomorrow, June 24th. The front moves back to the north a little ways as a stationary front. Chance of some heavy rain in Nebraska and southeastern and south central South Dakota. Looks like we'll be getting most of the rain. Chances of storms, pop-up variety storms, and most of the rest of the north central plains. The severe weather outlook for Tuesday, tomorrow, marginal risk of severe weather in southern South Dakota, most of Nebraska and northern Kansas, with parts of western Nebraska and South Dakota included in the slight risk of severe thunderstorms tomorrow. The surface analysis for Wednesday, June 25th. The front still kind of hangs up in Nebraska. It's going to be kind of a wet week off and on in central and northern Nebraska and most of South Dakota. Sorry about that. Just due to this front up here hanging up in that area. And mainly not a lot of severe weather to speak of, but mainly just some rain likely and chances of rain in the lighter green area. Thursday severe weather outlook includes a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms, most in Nebraska and South Dakota and parts of southwestern North Dakota. I would imagine that's going to be hail and wind related also from the way it looks. The surface analysis map for Thursday at 7 a.m. includes chances of just rain, just normal old rain and showers and thunderstorms. These are mainly going to be your pop-up type storms that usually happen in the summertime. The front still hung up in eastern Nebraska, kind of nudging into northwestern Kansas. That's what the rain's going to concentrate along that front there. And looks like this down here in Kansas will probably be some pop-up type storms that we normally get in the summertime. The surface analysis map for Friday at 7 a.m. The front kind of moves back to the north a little ways. The low up here in southern Canada. The low pressure up here in southern Canada will be dragging this front that was in South Dakota and Nebraska back to the north and east as the low up here in Canada moves off to the east. More pop-up storms, southeastern Nebraska, central and eastern Kansas areas. Just pretty much typical for this time of year. Got the surface front for Saturday. Not a whole lot more to speak of. Few showers up here and storms in eastern North Dakota. And that's about it. It kind of goes along with the front that's being drug east up here. The front that's trailing back from the low pressure in southern Canada comes down into western South Dakota area and back into Wyoming. That will likely move off to the east and southeast as this low in Canada moves off to the east. So we'll have to see if that brings us any weather over the next weekend. The surface analysis for next Sunday. Brings a chance of pop-up storms once again. Eastern Kansas, eastern Nebraska areas. Just pretty much your typical pop-up for, 30, 45 minutes to an hour. And then that's pretty much die out and then they're gone. We'll look at the forecast here for San Antonio, Texas from today through next Sunday. It looks like it's going to be somewhat warm down there and warm and dry in the San Antonio, Texas area for the remainder of this week. Looks like they'll top out at about 95 this next Saturday and Sunday for a high temperature, and about 77 degrees for a high low temperature on next Saturday night, Sunday morning. Move on to the Oklahoma City forecast for the upcoming week. 92 was supposed to be their high today. Looks like they'll top out about the same as San Antonio, about 96 degrees Saturday and Sunday, this upcoming weekend, with a low of 76 both of those days. So it looks like it's going to warm up towards between Thursday and Sunday here in Oklahoma City. It is typical weather, though, for summertime weather in Oklahoma to be that hot. Then we move on up to the Wichita, Kansas area. Several showers and thunderstorms throughout the week, or days of showers and thunderstorms throughout the week, are predicted or forecasted. Like I said, those will be your pop-up variety. I mean, like today, had about a 20% chance today, 30% tonight, 20% tomorrow. So when you get 20 to 30% chances of rain, that's what I mean by your pop-up storms. It's not going to affect everybody in the Wichita, Kansas area. It could be raining a mile down the road from you and you won't even get a drop. That's just the way these pop-up storms are this time of year in the Central Plains. Looks like the high, they're going to have a chance of a high of 95, 94, 95, 95 Saturday. So pretty warm for the weekend, upcoming weekend. I'm going to say if you got plans for this next weekend, you're probably looking pretty good because, like I said, the 20% chances of showers and storms are not going to affect everywhere. I thought I'd throw the Parsons, Kansas forecast in here. It's pretty similar to the Wichita forecast, mainly from Thursday through Sunday. Pop-up storms once again here in southeastern Kansas. Not quite as hot as Oklahoma. Looks like our high temperature will be 93 on Thursday and 93 on Sunday for a high. So not quite as hot as last week was. Then again, they also said the high that today was supposed to be 91, and I believe we got up to about 94 or 5. So this can vary up and down a little bit. Lincoln, Nebraska forecast for the next 7 days. They've got a pretty good shot of rain today and tonight, overnight. Also tomorrow, 60% chance of rain throughout tomorrow. 30% tomorrow Wednesday during the day, and 50% Wednesday night. And that is because that front is going to hang up there. They do have a chance of severe storms today and probably tomorrow by looking at the convective outlook for tomorrow. So they may have some rain, heavy rain, hail, and winds mainly in that area probably today and tomorrow at least. Their high temperature of the week is going to be 95 on Wednesday and 95 on Saturday. The showers and storms, if they do get the showers and storms throughout most of the week, it'll probably keep them a little bit cooler because of the cloud cover and the rain. Move on further north into the north central plains, Pierre, South Dakota. They expected a high today of 76 with a low tonight of 53. Looks like their high this week's going to be about 92 on Friday and Saturday. So it looks like they're warming up in South Dakota, central South Dakota area, with a few chances of rain, mainly due to that front wavering back and forth, north and south throughout the remainder of the week up there. Going up to Minot, North Dakota. Minot, North Dakota. Sorry about that. High is supposed to be 69 degrees today, partly cloudy. And then we'll go into a chance of storms for the rest of the week, Wednesday through Sunday. Anywhere from a 60% chance Wednesday during the day and 50% Wednesday night. Looks like the biggest chances of rain, and 40% chance, another big, decent chance of rain on Friday. The highest high of 86 on Friday. And like I said, with South Dakota earlier, I mean, if you're under one of these showers and thunderstorms and under the clouds, it's probably going to be a little bit cooler in those areas. This is what this map here shows the total 7-day precipitation outlook from today through next Monday. The heavier chances of precipitation, as you can see right here along the front, is predicting about 3 to 4 inches along that front in southeastern Nebraska, with about 2 to 2.5 inches back down through north central Kansas and western Kansas here. But that's along the front where they'll have the severe weather out there in that area this evening. Also expecting some heavy rain with the front moving back to the north. Up here in southeastern South Dakota, looks like about 4 to 5 inches in that area, with about 3 to 4 inches northern Nebraska, southern South Dakota. Looks like the main areas for the rest of this week that's going to be getting the bigger rainfalls. Not a whole lot going on down here in Texas. Very dry, and looks like they're starting to not have as much rain as they did a couple weeks ago. So dry and warm, which is very typical for Texas this time of year, and also Oklahoma, same story, and most of southeastern and eastern Kansas will start to be dry and very warm. Summertime is here, I believe. We are going to look at the tropical outlooks. We do have an area of interest this week in the Atlantic for the first time. They're keeping an eye on this system out here in the central Atlantic Ocean. Looks like it's got about a 40 to a 60% chance of developing into some type of a tropical disturbance, whether that'll be a tropical depression or a storm or a hurricane eventually. So that is an area we are going to look at for the rest of this upcoming week in the Atlantic for tropical weather. Still got the same type of tropical disturbances here in the eastern Pacific Ocean. They seem to move off to the west and kind of dissipate over a few days. That's the way that's been going for the last couple of weeks anyway. So we'll see if this particular system here actually does the same. Got a 70% chance of developing into a depression, storm, or hurricane eventually. So we'll see what this disturbance here does over this next week. This is a heat risk map for today. This was supposed to be the warmest day of the week in the Plains area. I'm not going to say that it's not going to get hot. I mean, you expect 95, 94 to 96 degrees temperatures in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas, Nebraska this time of year. But with the pop-up storms and everything, the rest of the week after today, it's probably going to settle some of our very extreme temperatures down, or extreme high temperatures down to a manageable level, especially up here to the north of the front. Remember, that front will be traveling back north here over the remainder of the week. But still expect some moderate heat risks today and tomorrow, at least. We're going to take a deep dive and a discussion. It's now for our Beyond the Forecast segment, where we take a deeper dive into a weather topic or discuss a broader trend. This week, I want to talk about the use of artificial intelligence in hurricane forecasting. According to a news story dated June 12th, 2025 on Fox Weather, Google launched a new weather model that uses artificial intelligence, or AI, in an effort to increase the accuracy of hurricane forecasts, including those developed by the National Hurricane Center. The model is now available for free on the new interactive Google website called Weather Lab, which provides the model's predictions on the formation, track, shape, size, and intensity of hurricanes. Also known as tropical cyclones, hurricanes are notoriously difficult to predict due to their sensitivity to the slightest changes in the atmosphere. However, the tropical cyclone model developed by Google DeepMind, the company's AI lab, and Google Research, a team that manages a diverse research portfolio, is able to produce 50 possible scenarios for the storms and do so with a lead time of up to 15 days. This advance notice is significant as current models provide predictions with a lead time of up to 3 to 5 days. The new tropical cyclone model from Google also resolves a challenge traditional models face, in that no one model can predict both track and intensity due to the different types of information needed to predict them, according to officials. On one hand, predicting the track requires taking into account the vast atmospheric steering currents. On the other hand, predicting the intensity of a tropical cyclone involves focusing on storm's compact core. The new tropical cyclone model is able to process both of these types of information. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. It is very interesting that we're starting to use Google, at the very least, is starting to use some artificial intelligence, or AI. Hear a lot about AI and generating all kinds of stuff out there. We'll talk about a little more coming up in some future editions of Russ's Weather Recon about how AI is used in the weather. This is one instance here. Google's helping forecast hurricanes. I suggest that you take a look at this website here, deepmind.google.com/science/weatherlab. It's a very interesting website. This is their actual model. It's going to be interesting when we do get some systems that show up in the Pacific or the Gulf, and see how accurate this particular AI model is. I did do some more reading too, where the National Hurricane Center is going to be using, or going to be testing the model. I guess you'd say testing it to see how well it performs. Do want to thank Fox Weather up here that this article was courtesy of them off of their website. Appreciate them letting me use it. I believe that's going to wrap up this week's weekly weather recon update. I want to thank you for tuning in and staying weather aware. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to the weather. You can always stay up to date by following us on Facebook at Russ Weather Recon for additional resources and detailed forecasts. Join me next week for another reconnaissance mission into the atmosphere. Until then, stay safe, stay informed, and enjoy the weather. whatever it may be.